Hasan Piker, who has a history of inflammatory comments.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
Same clips every time. Same every single time. You can throw Netanyahu, a person who's presided over the deaths of hundreds of thousands, in apartheid for years and years without providing any information on what he's done. You can just show him like he's a regular-ass guy as opposed to an international war criminal by the ICC. But if you throw Hasan up there, you better believe you're going to hear his 7-year-old 9/11 clip. The Michigan Democratic Party convention heavily focused on the upcoming Senate primary. This is from Abdul El-Sayed. It's funny because a bunch of like Democratic shills have been trying to argue this isn't really representative of the party's mainstream interests. Listen to those boos, man. Stevens is loudly pro-AIPAC as opposed to McMorrow, who is only quietly pro-AIPAC. It was apparently such a popular convention, there were people in the overflow, you know? Same consultant lines, of course. They have no plans for the future other than your, ritual blood sacrifice of all Americans for the sake of Israel. We know how this goes. Here's McMorrow with her crowd being very millennial. I don't think I've ever seen a politician win after acting this way. If you are not a progressive within the Democratic Party, you have literally no plan for the future. Like, people like this never have any policy positions that they actually care about. They don't want to run on anything, So the only thing they can really run on is them, It's them. They run on them, not in any specific policies or beliefs. The AIPAC check comes out sizzling. Largest convention turnout in history for Michigan Dems. Nice. Also, they could boo Stevens.
Must be some Michigan Democrats, huh? That's right. We want money out of? Pocket. Money in your? Pocket. Medicare for? That's right. My name is Abdul El-Sayed, and I am running for U.S. Senate. Tell me I got a name that is tailor-made for U.S. politics. But y'all, it just shouldn't be this hard. Shouldn't be this hard to afford a second bag of groceries. Shouldn't be this hard to work the same job tomorrow that you worked yesterday. Should not be this hard to see a dentist or a doctor. And it should not be this hard to pay your taxes in April and know that that money is being spent.
Schumer will hate this guy. Schumer does hate this guy. It's not a will and it's not a hypothetical. He does hate this guy. Yeah, according to Rashida Tlaib, quote tweeting here the mass booing. Oh no, this is a different clip. This isn't the booing of Stevens. This is people cheering for Abdul, who spoke after McMorrow. You had to be there. It was electric. Unfortunately, many seasoned Dem Party folks still think his policy positions aren't resonating all across the state. Democrat consultants have the worst fucking read of their own bases because they're a biased party, Like, the average Democrat genuinely thought that voters would not care about Israel-Palestine by the time the 2024 presidential election came around. And look at that. Israel's still, like, the main fucking point in 2026. They're very stupid and they're bad at their jobs. They really shouldn't be taken seriously. It is hard to say, like, how much of it is them being bad at their job and how much of it is them deliberately lying in an attempt to suppress the public interest,
On you and your kids rather than to drop bombs on other people and their kids. My parents gave me an 11-letter first name. I was never supposed to run for office. I wanted to be a doctor. I could go 15 hours to my family's native Egypt, or just 15 minutes from where I grew up into the city of Detroit or the city of Pontiac, and I would travel the same 10-year life expectancy gap. And it shouldn't matter the color of your skin, shouldn't matter who you are, where your parents came from, what you or they do for work. You deserve a long, healthy life.
Abdul used to be a lot less charismatic than he is now, but he has gotten to be a lot more charismatic. He has definitely improved in that respect, which is super cool. Now, I am a little bit curious about this CNN video. CNN, obviously, also agents of Israel in the deep state. How a must-win Michigan Senate race just became a GOP opening. So I'm going to guess the framing here is that the popularity of Abdul El-Sayed is actually like a weak point for the Democrats, because if he won the primary, then the Republicans would win the general. That's my guess. I wanted to pull this up too. I was looking for it on the second monitor. More than half of Americans say the conflict between Israel and Hamas is personally important to them. That's crazy, man. Again, never, ever listen to Dems when they tell you what the people do or don't want. They are worse on it than anyone. Republicans are better at reading their own base than Democrats are. Like, even the wildest Trump claims about what his constituency wants or doesn't want usually end up being more accurate than what the kind of people, like the, consultants adjacent to Chuck Schumer say about their own constituency. They have no fucking clue what's going on, or they're just lying.
Democrats are growing more bullish about their chances of flipping the Senate. But in Michigan...
What percentage of this anti-Israel wave do you think is Groyper-aligned? Absolutely infinitesimal. If you go outside and talk to people in a city, if you go to any American city and talk to people about Israel, people will be, on average, very negative towards it, and none of the people you meet will be Groypers. Not one, not a single one. You could be out there for days and not meet a Groyper.
A primary fight could douse those hopes.
Donald Trump should not be the president.
I'm leading the articles of impeachment on RFK Jr.
People love to say, well, it's because he's Arab and Muslim. No, it's because I'm from Michigan.
What started as an intra-party feud now is a clash over the party's future, what it stands for in the Trump era, and just how far left they should go. The battle includes former public health official Abdul El-Sayed, a 41-year-old who is backed by Bernie Sanders and is staking out...
Not to be sexist, but why does she sound like a 5-year-old? Stevens? She really does. It's true. Like, it just, she has like reverse... It's like the J.D. Vance thing. She looks like a fat chud baby.
The most progressive positions.
This is about electability. Your party wants to hold on to this seat, of course.
There is this notion that electability is about being the least offensive. If that were true, why would Donald Trump have won the presidency twice? And too often in the Democratic Party, we're willing to move on our positions because of what Republicans say about us. I don't back down to anyone on anything.
Do you think Chuck Schumer would prefer a Republican win in Michigan and Maine as opposed to getting Abdul El-Sayed and Plattner? Absolutely, 100%, easily, without a doubt, unquestionably, yes. Chuck Schumer is 100% allegiant to Israel. He's not loyal to America. He, as long as the Republicans were pro-Israel, which they would be, yeah. The Third Way PAC literally said this, that they would rather a Republican win than somebody like Hasan Piker win in the Democratic Party, in reference to Abdul El-Sayed.
Party establishment has its own favorite, Haley Stevens, a more moderate congresswoman from the Detroit suburbs.
Every single poll shows I'm the best person.
Like, I hate looking at her face. I hate looking at her face so much.
The only person that can be...
She looks like fucking Drewski doing a white face as her, you know?
Mike Rogers.
And then there's a state senator, Mallory McMorrow, angling for both wings of the party, while offering this warning as the GOP unites behind Mike Rogers, a former congressman
Literally
who
who?
narrowly lost a Senate bid in 2024, as they aim to make Michigan their firewall to prevent Democrats from netting the 4 seats they need to win back power.
There is literally no chance of the Republican winning this seat. If the Dem was able to take this seat back in 2024, 2026 is going to be like Dem plus 15 at a minimum nationwide. The idea that like a seat won in 2024 is up for grabs for Republicans in 2026, no shot.
And if he wins this seat, if they are successful in trying to buy this seat, then there is no path at all for Democrats to take control of the U.S. Senate.
Now a GOP outside group is preparing to spend a staggering $45 million in the final weeks of the midterms, more than any other pickup opportunity. All as Rogers now has a bigger war chest than any of his 3 would-be opponents. That's the...
Yeah, because they're in a primary and Rogers is already the de facto... What? Those aren't comparable numbers at all. He's already gunning for the general. They're in a primary. Those are different. The Democrats haven't rallied their general base yet.
Democrats struggling with a thorny question in this swing state that President Donald Trump narrowly won twice and lost once. Should they nominate a firebrand to energize the base and take a harder line?
Anybody committed to shutting down...
Should we vote for a guy who believes in something and whose positions align with the Democratic majority? Keep in mind, Abdul El-Sayed's positions on Medicare for all, punishing ICE, not backing Israel, these are literally majority positions in the Democratic Party. They're like 70-30, 80-20, 90-10. It's like insanely aligned. If you just went through a check sheet of like every position they advocate for, it's so clear which one of them holds the torch, you know?
Trump and the MAGA movement, that's number one for you. That's number one.
Or a more traditional Democrat, or even a leadership ally who could appeal to swing voters like this one.
Leadership ally, swing voters who like Chuck Schumer? Is that the leadership you're referring to? Oh yeah, the mythical swing voter who's not sold on the Democratic Party generally, but would be wooed by somebody who's associated with Chuck Schumer? What the fuck are you talking about?
Your vote is up for grabs.
It very much is.
So it could be either Democrat or Republican.
Hold on one second. Usually when they pull people like this, they're deep state plants. Well, she's not nobody. Dr. Ashley Malliott is a clinical coordinator and principal faculty at Michigan State University. Accomplished woman. Very accomplished woman. Wow. Got quite a career here. Anything politically compromising? Any PACs you're a part of? Any political boards? Did a long interview with CNN, but that was yesterday, so that's here. Yeah, maybe she's not a deep state plant. Okay, well, happy to check.
It could be.
Speaking to CNN in his hometown of Ann Arbor, El-Sayed went further to the left than his foes on issues like abolishing ICE.
It's just the same lack of courage.
I know I'm behind, but there's absolutely a lot of Groyper-line anti-Israel sentiment. Open up Instagram. Yeah, I'm just saying that it's not really representative of the country's general distaste for Israel. The Groypers are not like a real mainstream movement. They're online incels. It doesn't really represent the anti-Israeli sentiment, you know?
That Democrats deploy to argue as to why they should be taking money from corporations or why they should be hedging their bets.
Most of them are probably
clear,
from Indonesia. That is true.
Like abolishing ICE or guaranteeing health care through Medicare for all. And I think what you're seeing in this race right now is that people are sick and tired of the same old Democrats who lack courage.
But a glaring divide is over Israel, in a state with a huge Arab American community in Dearborn and a big Jewish voting bloc in Oakland County.
Why are you supporting Abdul?
Because he's not taking AIPAC money.
He's against the apartheid, against sending tax money to fund a genocide in Israel.
An independent UN inquiry concluded.
I hate this framing as like an Arab versus Jew thing when support for Israel has cratered among all Democrats. The average Democrat is not Arab. The average Democrat is anti-Israel. This is not like if you want to position it, again, I feel like it's kind of anti-Semitic because it's like, I don't know, you're kind of positioning the Jews as the losing group here. It's like there are plenty of Jews who are not pro-Israel.
Last year that Israel had committed genocide against Palestinians in Gaza.
They're currently doing it in Gaza and Lebanon.
An accusation the Israeli government firmly rejects.
Whoa, wow. What? So, thank you, CNN. Thank you, CNN. An accusation that Adolf Hitler firmly rejects. Wow, that's well. But if he was doing the Holocaust, wouldn't he tell the Red Cross?
El-Sayed, a son of Egyptian immigrants who's born in Michigan and lost to Governor Gretchen Whitmer in a tense 2018 primary, was blunt on his views.
You said the Israeli government is evil. Do you think they're just as evil as Hamas?
Yes, killing tens of thousands of people makes you pretty damn evil. It's not how evil is this one.
Far more evil than Hamas, but I understand him not taking the maximalist position here.
Versus that one, Hamas, evil. Israeli government, evil. We could say both.
Is Netanyahu, in your view, war criminal? He's a war criminal?
Absolutely. Do you not think he is? When you conduct a genocide, you're a war criminal.
What do you make of the fact that Haley Stevens...
Pathetic, dickless, piece of shit fake journalist, you know, just trying to get that soundbite. No interest in elucidating any information about the candidate, uncovering information about his perspective or like the country at large, just like soundbite. Oh, you think he's evil? Oh, okay, do you think this is evil? Okay. Notice how when Abdul fired back and said, do you not think he's a war criminal? He didn't even respond because like it's not meant to be a genuine like interlocution between these two. It's just meant to be like clip farming. Fucking pathetic. I hate CNN. I hate America.
Disastrous.
I hate
for
Israel.
Politics. And you should be more interested in what's happening in Michigan than you are interested in what's happening in Tel Aviv.
But about 60 miles away in Lansing, one Stevens supporter touts the congresswoman's support for Israel.
A Stevens supporter.
It's a normal position.
You are too short to have opinions. Go find a roller coaster that will let you on. I can't take you seriously. You're like a leprechaun.
For normal Democrats to support
She's sitting, lol. Irrelevant.
and, be allies with Israel. I'm a normal Democrat. I want to vote for a normal Democrat.
The 42-year-old Stevens, who first won a battleground district in 2018.
Wait, did they give her name? You have to check for the deep state. Robin Gillis. That's 2 for 2. No deep state, not this time.
For normal Democrats to support and, be allies with Israel. I'm a normal Democrat. I want to vote for a normal Democrat.
The 42-year-old
Normal
Stevens,
Democrat.
who first won a battleground district in 2018, is running a middle-of-the-road campaign and wants to stay focused on economic issues.
Total deference
You have
to
the support
Israel.
of AIPAC in this race. I'm wondering, do you embrace that support?
Well, look, I'm campaigning in a grassroots way alongside a ton of engaged Michiganders.
Is she racist against herself? I feel like I can't stand looking at her or listening to her. How the fuck does a person like this survive in politics?
But there's also talk about, from some of your opponents here, that Israel, in their view, committed genocide in Gaza. Do you agree with that?
I don't agree with that. And like I said, I've been very consistent on this issue.
What about the 70% of Democrats who also think that? Mr. CNN reporter, do you want to frame that? Do you want to frame this correctly as not like the partial position of a hardline left Democrat, but rather as like the majority position?
I just think we need to see long-term peace. We need to make...
Is that position, though, going to hurt you in Dearborn, where you need those Arab voters?
Oh, no, it's Arab. It's those Arabs who have a problem with you disagreeing with 70% of the Democratic base. You're right. No. It's those Arabs. It's just the Arabs who think that Israel's committing genocide, Fucking race war piece of shit. Fucking hate CNN so fucking much, man.
I'm out here every single day hearing from Michiganders who are dealing with rising costs, who are worried about their jobs.
McMorrow, the 39-year-old Democratic whip in the state Senate, goes further than Stevens.
Do you think that Benjamin Netanyahu has committed war crimes in Gaza?
I do. Watching the devastation.
Release your AIPAC position sheet. The position sheet that you filled out, that you sent over to AIPAC of your own volition, that you refused to make public, where a person associated with AIPAC who looked at the position sheet said that it was very good. Can you show it to us, please? The assignment you filled out to your masters. Can you show that to us, please? Can you release that paper?
I do believe that war crimes were committed.
As she stumps in breweries, including one in the Detroit suburb of Canton.
I like Mallory. She's a tough talker.
You are 100 years old.
El-Sayed's rhetoric does not match reality.
Rhetoric is nice, but results are better.
Do you think that he is pretty much all rhetoric? His campaign?
I think a lot of it is.
Is the Democratic Party looking for someone, though?
They love to say lefties are all rhetoric, and their counter to that is to have no rhetoric because they have no position. They're like, oh man, Abdul's all talk, He talks about Medicare for all. He talks about blocking the sale of arms to Israel. He talks about going after ICE. What do I talk about? Nothing. That's how you know I'm not full of rhetoric. It's not rhetoric for me. I have nothing. Nothing at all.
Who really wants to shake things up?
Absolutely. Just doing rallies and talking about issues and having rhetoric without knowing how to actually implement those things is not going
What does he not know how to implement?
Shake it up at all. That's just lobbing bombs from the outside.
Yet McMorrow has drawn criticism from El-Sayed for shifting her stances on issues such as Israel and corporate PAC money.
It's not just your positions. It's about whether or not you truly and deeply hold on to them.
But does it look like to you that McMorrow is shifting her position? She does not have the same deeply held views as you.
I know where my positions are, and it's clear that she's moved on a lot of these questions.
While Stevens accepts corporate PAC money, McMorrow says she now refuses it after accepting it in past campaigns.
And also filling out a position sheet for AIPAC. I follow this one dipshit, libtard, Michigan policy wonk guy because I really want to see him cry, post a tears running down the face, ugly cry video after El-Sayed wins, if he does, inshallah. Because we know McMorrow sent a policy paper to AIPAC for their endorsement. No winning over online leftists, it's best to ignore them. Loudest voices with demands about releasing policy papers equals one that would never budge. And misinformation and say it looked at the policy you just released, spam it on social media just like they misled, blah, 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 incoherent, barely literate. What I'm asking is that she release her policy paper. I don't actually care when she sent it to them, not even if she supposedly changed her mind in the last 6 months. She should be transparent and let us know what she wrote to them. Don't you agree with candidate transparency? No, because it will be used as misinformation. How can it be used as misinformation? They would literally just share it as if it's current. No! Your position sheet that you filled out and provided to the genocidal Jan 6 Republican deep state PAC is 6 months old. She filled that out when she was fucking 45, not when she was 46. She's changed her mind since then, and definitely isn't just shifting her positions publicly to try to win a Senate primary. He's so soy he's getting mocked and clowned on a Blue Sky. Oh, is he also getting, even in Blue Sky, this guy? I want to see him cry. I want to see him fucking wet his pants. I want the goddamn ukulele video from this motherfucker. Blue MAGA is so cultic. How can these people pretend they believe in democracy? No, I don't want this candidate to release their position sheet because it will be used for misinformation to say that she believed that now rather than 6 months ago. No, I want her positions to be secret so you damn lefties can't criticize her for them. Jesus Christ. I wish I took a screenshot, but this guy made a tweet calling El-Sayed totally classless yesterday and deleted it after 30 minutes. Well, they're probably racist. If you support any candidate who supports AIPAC, you yourself are probably racist against Arabs, so it's reasonable to assume that's informing his position a little bit. Let's finish this fucking CNN video.
That's a change. That's a flip.
McMorrow defends her pivot.
Over the years, I learned that not only can we campaign differently, but we can't be Republican light. And I am willing to be somebody who evolves.
El-Sayed has accused McMorrow of co-opting his positions and copying his homework poorly.
This is governing, it's not middle school.
Yet it's El-Sayed who has generated the most headlines, like when he barnstormed college campuses with widely followed left-wing streamer.
Widely followed. He's spoken through gritted teeth.
Hasan Piker, who has a history of inflammatory comments, including saying Hamas.
I didn't hear shit. You guys heard shit? I hadn't heard shit.
Is a, quote, 1,000 times better than Israel.
Didn't hear it.
This about the 9/11 attacks.
Yes. America deserved 9/11, dude.
True.
It. I'm saying
Same clips every time. Same every single time. You can throw Netanyahu, a person who's presided over the deaths of hundreds of thousands in apartheid for years and years, without, providing any information on what he's done. You can just show him like he's a regular-ass guy, as opposed to an international war criminal by the ICC. But if you throw Hasan up there, you better believe you're going to hear his 7-year-old fucking 9/11 clip.
While Piker later walked back the remarks about 9/11, El-Sayed's opponents have seized on them.
Should he have brought him in to campaign with him?
I wouldn't have.
Yeah. Well, first of all, that's not someone I'd be campaigning with. Because it's un-American. And we shouldn't say that America is, deserved 9/11. This is about winning for Michigan.
El-Sayed pushes back.
What do you say?
My understanding of America is it's a place where we have freedom of speech. My understanding of America is it's a place where
Israel disagrees, bucko. All right, over to the Israeli concentration camp where you'll be given a military tribunal in 6 months, and until then you'll be raped by dogs. Sorry, buddy. Over to the dog rape camp.
We're willing to have conversations with folks with whom we disagree. I went on Fox and Friends this morning. Is it un-American to go and speak on Fox and Friends, or are we drawing certain kinds of lines? And it's that penchant for cancel culture that I think people hate about Democrats.
But you're actively campaigning with them. It's a choice you're making. So,
for sure.
So why make that choice to actively campaign with them?
Because I know that he's having a conversation with a number of folks who feel locked out.
Part of that.
Glad we're not doing hyperbole over here. What hyperbole? Advocates for Israel repeatedly argue against our First Amendment, and also they have a dog rape camp. I don't know what am I being hyperbolic about? Now, are they sending Abdul El-Sayed to the dog rape camp? If he loses, yes. Which is why it's so important that he wins.
The conversation is whether the party should dump Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer, whom Stevens has praised.
You had called Chuck Schumer a great leader. Do you stand by that?
Look, inside baseball.
We both serve Israel, so,
Look, you know what? That kind of stuff we'll deal with when I get there.
But McMorrow says
won't even say her position ahead of time. Years and years in politics, running to be a senator, won't even admit her position ahead of time because she knows that openly associating with Schumer would be bad even for her.
It's time for a change.
We need new leadership in the Senate,
Haley Stevens told me that that's an inside baseball discussion.
I can tell you what I hear on the ground, which is people want a better Democratic Party.
Let's turn back to my panel, including David Weigel, who's been covering this as well. And David, you tweet that kind of summed up basically the entire premise here. The entire primary, basically, El-Sayed, I'm taking the most maximal...
Thank you, CNN. Thank you for this hard-hitting journalism where you show tweets. Very good.
Left-wing position, McMorrow. I wouldn't go...
El-Sayed is not even close to taking the most maximal left-wing position, okay? Trust me, CNN. You'll know when somebody in America takes the maximal left-wing position. It'll be the last thing you ever know.
That far. Stevens, oh golly, I love manufacturing. It kind of speaks to where we're seeing the party. How do you see this?
We like to be pithy.
Yes.
But that's been the dynamic for a year. El-Sayed got in a year ago and just put down his stakes as the Bernie candidate, day one endorsement from Bernie Sanders, who's been more aggressive, I think, this cycle than the past in saying, these are my candidates. You guys don't know how to win. I do. One of the challenges of Michigan is Democrats do know how to win Michigan, not against Trump twice, but Michigan has a record of senators who are not that flashy, who do the work. Debbie Stabenow and Gary Peters get reelected despite not being social media stars. And the offer that they have is from El-Sayed, a very aggressive, progressive to the left-wing media star. McMorrow has been, there's a reason she was on stage as a state senator at the DNC in prime time. McMorrow's a communicator that Democrats feel very comfortable with. Stevens is, I was in Michigan when she won her 2022 member primary with the help of AIPAC. That and the idea that Chuck Schumer supports her are very unpopular when I talk to Michigan Democratic voters, even moderate Democratic voters.
Finally, somebody pointing out that the average Democrat doesn't like this shit, not just Arab Democrats.
The fact that AIPAC was for her in 2022 was coming up a year ago. I think it's probably coming up much more now that she can't be trusted on not just the intricacies of Gaza, but that she is a D.C. establishment Democrat. And even though we had those very recently in Michigan, maybe we need something completely different now.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Israel's critics are winning the battle for the Democratic Party. Yippee. On Wednesday, 40 out of 47 Democratic senators voted to block a military sale to Israel. The tally left pro-Israel Democrats, quote, shocked and disillusioned. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Didn't get to kill enough Arabs with your vote. I'm sorry. Well, you know what? It ended up going through anyway, because you all sided with Republicans. It's disturbing for supporters of Israel's who have long needed and counted on bipartisan support and had it. A Democratic operative who's long been involved in Jewish causes told me, you should give the name. Long been involved in Jewish causes, like genocide, you know? Back in 2022, a slight majority of Democratic voters, 53%, viewed Israel unfavorably. Worth pointing out that, like, even before October 7th, the average Democrat recognized that Israel was an apartheid state. Everything that Biden did to defend Israel was against the wishes of... It's this dislike of Israel is not a exclusively post-October 7th phenomenon. God, I really hope we get our Democratic Tea Party, man. Somebody linked this earlier. Statistically speaking, it was probably Masaigo. The overall blue wave we're getting, that's gunning up right now. Look at this. Senate poll for Mississippi. Hyde Smith, the incumbent, 42%. Cullum, the Democrat, 39%. A 3-point difference with a Republican incumbency bias for a Senate poll in Mississippi. Senate, so it's a statewide election. Means nothing if it doesn't hold in November. Well, I don't expect us to win in Mississippi. I'm just saying it's, you know, representative of a general shift, you know? Cory Booker was pushing vote blue no matter who rhetoric for Zionists during the Michigan convention. Famously, he did not endorse Mamdani. Yeah, I saw this. Democrats never whip their own party. They only whip their own base, you know? Their rhetoric will never advance beyond, like, you were bad for not voting for us.
Calling it like it is. After our primaries and Hillary Clinton was our nominee, there was some people, not all people, not even most people, some people said, well, I don't like her. I don't agree with everything she says. I saw it with Kamala Harris. There were too many people that say, I don't agree with her on everything. I mean, 90 out of 100, I agree with her, but those 10, I can't do it. Well, you may disagree with her on 10% of her views.
Winning message alert. Just keep campaigning our historically unpopular candidate. Just keep going out there and being like, you all fucked up by not voting for her. That was you. That was your fault. It wasn't her fault for being objectively shit. It was your fault.
But you let someone get in office who you disagree with on everything. You let somebody get in office who is locking up our children. You let somebody...
As opposed to Kamala Harris, who, wanted to end ICE and end border policing? Oh, wait.
...in office who's taking away our health care.
Oh, as opposed to the Democrats, which have done such a phenomenal job pushing for Medicare for all, right?
You let somebody in office who's taking away workers' rights.
Oh, come on. Well, Biden admittedly was pretty good on those, relatively speaking, but, you know, it is the party of Clinton. I'm not letting that get in the way of your average.
You let somebody in office who got rid of the Department of Education.
Okay, fair point on that one, but the Department of Education has also famously not done shit for decades. Like, our education system is ass, so, I mean, you can... like, honestly, how much is getting rid of the Department of Education even changed, like, schooling? Just keep on blaming the voter, man.
going to say this like the son of a Michigander. Michigan, we're the hand, right? It's nice to have fingers. They all got jobs. They all got perspectives.
What?
But I don't want the Michigan hand after your convention. I don't want the Michigan hand after your August primary. I want the Michigan fist. I want you all to unite. I want you to punch a hole in the wall of resistance.
Remember when this guy broke the record on the Senate filibuster? Yes, that's right. And then he did nothing with it, and then nothing changed, and he wrote a book about it like 5 days later.
I want you to grab a sledgehammer and knock some stuff down. I want you to reach up and grab somebody and get them off the couch and get them on the field. We got points to put on the board.
The point, I guess, in this case being we need to vote for Kamala Harris this time. Like, we don't even, what do we even believe in, man? What are we fighting for? Fake revolutionary rhetoric. The capitalists will co-opt everything. Even criticisms of capital end up getting folded into capital itself. Now every do-nothing establishment Democrat who worships Israel and takes deep state money will talk like they're fucking, you know, Rosa Luxemburg in public. It's time for the revolution! And they're talking about, like, I don't know, voting in Haley Stevens. Housing credits. If you've run a, you can qualify for a Pell Grant if you've run a business in an underserved neighborhood for a minimum of 36 months type shit. Yeah. Israel moderates are losing the Democratic Party. Their position has become untenable, but liberal Zionists can adapt. By lying, I assume. The theoretical case for a two-state solution remains as sound as ever. The trouble is that the Palestinian side has rejected repeated attempts by Democratic presidents to bring about the birth of a Palestinian state. I'm starting to agree with Israel that the First Amendment might be a bad idea. I'm going back to my trusty, my good old reliable, like, lying should be illegal. Yeah, man, that's been the problem with implementing a two-state solution. That's so fucking true. Holy shit, these people. It's the Atlantic, a trusted buddy of Epstein. Do you think the party could ever actually realign, or will it stay marginal because they represent a threat to capital? I don't know. It kind of feels like the people who actually run the Democratic Party would rather break it and turn it to dust than allow progressives to control it. So who really knows? Like, Democrats in America might end up being the largest politically disenfranchised group in any Western democracy in all of human history. Like, no party represents them, not even close. I just learned Cory Booker was backed by the Zionist lobby during his first state run back in 2013. He's in so deep. I mean, in fairness, that's like every Democrat, basically. God, dripping with contempt. The anti-Zionist left sees Israel not merely as a recalcitrant and overly aggressive power, but as a fundamentally illegitimate state that is a source of unique evil in the world. Piker's reference to Israel as a settler colonial apartheid state reflects a fashionable ideology that imagines Israel as an alien Western power that must be expunged so the land can be turned over to its natural inhabitants. Deep State article? Yeah. Is this an op-ed or is it like an actual... the ideas section. Oh, Jonathan Chait. I didn't even see the author. Yeah. He's got a crazy hairline. Chait is a centrist ghoul. Worth pointing out, and I understand what you're saying, but I do need to push back. This is objectively not centrism. He's a monster. He's pro-genocide. Like, it's not centrist. I'm not abiding by... We have to shift the rhetoric we use here because, like, he's... like, every paragraph here is dripping with contempt and dishonesty in an effort to front the popularity of the idea that we should continue to support the slaughter of innocents in the Middle East. There's no excuse for it. It's just ethno-nationalism. It's just evil, right? It's not really centrism. These people have one priority. He supported the 2003 invasion of Iraq. Is he Israeli? I'm not sure, actually. Does it say here? I think it said he's Jewish. Well, yeah. I don't know if that means he's Israeli, though. Certainly he's servile to Israel. Written extensively in support of charter schools. In February 2016, he wrote the New York Magazine article, Why Liberals Should Support a Trump Republican Nomination. Just a generational streak of being wrong. It's how many, like, famous journalists and editorialists and so on, you look at their career record and literally all of it is MIC propaganda and being wrong openly, like over and over and over and over and over again, just constantly wrong. Is married to Robin Joy Chait, an analyst and charter school advocate. Phenomenal. Writer Alexander Russo criticized Chait for not consistently disclosing his wife's charter school advocacy. So just lack of journalistic ethics on top of everything else, yeah. He thought the Trump presidency would develop similarly to the governorship of Arnold Schwarzenegger in California. Just like phenomenal streak of being wrong on everything, just everything, nonstop. Every single position he's ever taken, he's been wrong on. But he gets to keep doing it for decades and decades and decades. He keeps to keep doing it because he serves the right interests. Read the opposing Marxism part. No, I think I'm done with that. Okay, so I get dislodging the deep state people is a whole fundamental undertaking, but surely at least we can do something about the mass media machine victim blaming every fucking where. Yeah, it's like, it's something the blue MAGA retards don't want to acknowledge, but they're going to have to because history is going to catch up to them. My position that the Republican and Democratic parties are both like apparatuses of the same block of political power and that they engage in fundamentally the same behavior is not a popular one. Most Americans would disagree with me on that, and that's fine. It is, like, objectively a pretty out there opinion, and I stand by that. However, the overall contempt for the party and for the journalists that back them from the Democratic Party is a mainstream position. Not just among Republicans, but Democrats too. Democrat dissatisfaction with their party, their interests, the lobbyists and consultants who give them their ideas, and the media that backs them and lies about them, that is widespread. That is a majority position. So you can say that, like, my, dislodging the deep state, like, all that stuff's really out there. And it is. It totally, totally is. And I don't know how actionable a lot of the stuff that I say is. But when it comes to, like, the underlying sentiment, yeah, the average Democrat agrees with the underlying sentiment. The idea that the party, the Democratic Party, is controlled by people who do not have their best interests at heart, and that this problem is getting worse, not better. That is a mainstream position. It's like, you can argue against it, but it's gonna catch up to you. It's gonna catch up to you. The Democrats aren't happy. And there's only so far you can go. You're mad about them, oh, vote for Kamala Harris harder next time. It doesn't work. It's never going to work.